It happened on a Thursday night. Elise had been cramming for an exam, surrounded by highlighters and sticky notes, when she realized she hadn't eaten all day. Her stomach growled so loudly she cursed under her breath, grabbed her wallet, and slipped out of her room. The problem was, Lance was already in the kitchen, shirtless again, of course, with headphones around his neck as he rummaged through the fridge. Elise hesitated at the doorway. She could just skip dinner, go back to her room, and save herself the headache, but her stomach protested again. Lance noticed her instantly, that infuriating grin curling on his lips. Well, well, look who's finally taking a break from her books. I just need food, she muttered, brushing past him toward the cupboard. But the kitchen wasn't big, and the moment she reached for the instant noodles, he stepped right behind her, close enough that she could feel his breath on the back of her neck. Hungry, huh? He murmured. Elise froze. Lance, move. Relax. I'm just asking. He leaned a little closer, his tone dipping lower. Though, if you wanted, I could feed you myself. Her jaw dropped. You're unbelievable. And you're blushing again, he teased, brushing past her just enough for their shoulders, and maybe more, to touch. Elise spun around, determined to snap at him, but she hadn't realized how close he was. Their faces were inches apart. Her breath caught, his eyes locked on hers, then flicked briefly down to her lips. The world tilted, the air buzzed, and then he whispered, "Say the word, Elise." I'll stop. She should say it. She should push him away. She should do something. But her body betrayed her, frozen, heart pounding, lips parted in silence. Lance leaned in, slower this time, testing the space between them. Elise felt her body tremble, the heat coiling low in her stomach, the whisper of his breath brushing her skin. He was so close, so dangerously close. And then the noodles in her hand slipped, clattering onto the counter. The sound snapped her out of it. She jerked back instantly, face flaming. I need to eat, she stammered, grabbing the packet and practically fleeing toward the stove. Behind her, Lance chuckled, low and satisfied. Almost had you. Elise's hands shook as she poured water into the pot. Almost, she thought, too close. The next day, she tried to avoid him. She left for class early, stayed in the library until late, and practically tiptoed through the house. But Lance seemed to take her avoidance as a challenge. By Saturday, he cornered her in the living room while she was folding laundry. "You've been running from me," he said simply. "I have not," she lied, eyes glued to the shirt in her hands. He plucked it from her fingers, tossed it aside, and leaned in. "You think if you ignore me, the tension goes away?" Cute theory. Doesn't work, though. Elise's pulse hammered in her ears. "You're imagining things." "Am I?" His voice was low, teasing, but there was a heat in his gaze now, something more dangerous than before. "Then why are you shaking?" She opened her mouth to deny it, but before she could, he caught her wrist gently, tugging her closer until their knees brushed. "Elise," he murmured, his breath hot against her cheek. "You can tell me to stop any time, but if you don't," his lips hovered so close she could feel the ghost of a touch. I'm not holding back next time." Her heart thundered so loudly she thought the whole house might hear it, and though every rational part of her screamed at her to run, she didn't move, not an inch.